Welcome back, all my Minecrafting friends. This is the player update for episode 2 of the Minecraft Hardcore Challenge for October 2015, Enemy Territory. And I have to say, this has been a really popular month. We have a lot of players today, and I think I owe it all to the wonderful announcement video by Baker Bell. But let's get to the list. Let's start with Ron Smalek. Ron Smalek found sugarcane. I found sugarcane too. Yay. He abandoned his riverside farm. I thought he was just going to break all the seeds and bring them in with him, but he just left them there. Maybe he'll go back and harvest them later. He came in through the back door of the hidden valley. In case you didn't know that there was a back door, stay tuned. Well, you could check his episode out, and he will show you the back way in. He torched up the valley. He made a farm, small farm. He did some tree farming, and then he made a fishing pole and did some fishing. And of course, the first thing he got was a puffer fish, because that's not what you need this month. Then he got 2 fish after that, so that's good. He's got fish he can eat, and he also demonstrated that you can fish in running water. I didn't know that, so thanks, Ron, for teaching me something new. I always thought that you had to have source blocks to fish, but no, he was fishing very effectively in running water with no source block anywhere around. I mean, somewhere around, but way far away. Okay, next we have Jade LF. Jade put torches around the valley, did some caving, came back, did some tree farming, made bread, so her little farm is doing good, and she got an apple. So she's not completely starving. Yes. Next we have Baker Bell. Baker Bell did some mining, came up and watched her wheat grow for a while, did some more mining, got some iron, put stairs on the mine so that she didn't have to use up her energy getting up and down. She's got no food, and she's low on haunches, like I think 2.5 left, somewhere around there. Not doing too good on the food side. Of course, she's doing good on the health side, though. So next we have Lost in the Fort. Lost in the Fort is a returning player from a long time ago, and we're glad he's back. He made a small farm. He did get a loaf of bread this episode, in episode 2. He also got an apple from cutting trees down. He got bones from skeletons. He's also got zombie flesh. He put a fence around his farm to keep it from getting trampled. He went and did some more caving, and then came back and did some tree farming. So he had a very busy episode too. Next we have Hawkminer. Hawkminer was shooting mobs off of ledges with eggs. So if you're thinking, I don't have a pumpkin, I don't have any use for these eggs, well, you can shoot the mobs off of the ledges. I saw someone else shooting a mob off a ledge with a snowball too, so apparently those things have quite a range. Okay, Hawkminer, after he got tired of shooting mobs off ledges, did some fishing, didn't have too much luck, and he's not building a house. I don't know if he just doesn't like to build, or if he's still thinking about what his plans are, but he has not started building anything. Okay, next we have a new player, Honeysuckle. She climbed up to the top of the mountain, looked in, then decided to go over to the mountain pass, fought some mobs, retreated, went back to her base by the river, and then decided to do some mining. So she hasn't actually entered the Hidden Valley yet, although she's got a glimpse of it from the top. But she's waiting until she's a little bit better outfitted before she tackles it. Next we have Box. Box tunneled in to the valley. He made a small farm. He did some tree farming. He went caving. When he came back, and he was using slabs to save his energy, and then made a loaf of bread. So that's cool. Next we have J-Gaz Mom and Ghost Vortex. Ghost Vortex is a new player to the MHC, and he learned all about hunger management this time. They both, J-Gaz Mom and Ghost Vortex, tunneled in from the river. They found the valley. They made a small farm, put torches around, and then Ghost Vortex starved to death. Even though J-Gaz Mom had zombie flesh in her inventory that she could have given to him, but she says she forgot about it, or she didn't notice it. But anyway, yes, Vortex is out, and J-Gaz Mom is on her own. Okay, now next we have Life with Teens. Life with Teens was very successfully eating zombies. She found the back door out of the valley, so you know, that's two people that have found the back door. I think I might try to take a look for it in my next episode. She did some mining, she got some iron, and then she came up and stared at her wheat for the rest of the episode. Oh, she also got a piece of leather. One of her cows fell off a cliff or something, and even though she can't use the meat, she had nothing to do with harming the cow, so she can use the leather for whatever she wants to use it for. Next we have Velk. Velk is a returning player. He started work on a stone brick house. He is battling hunger. He ate some zombie flesh and didn't get any hunger from it, so that was lucky. And he finished his episode out watching his wheat. Next we have Outfoxed. Outfoxed was making a wood shack, and then he turned it into, he started out making a dirt shack, and then he turned it into a wood shack, and then he turned it into a murder shack by making murder holes and a basement to kill the mobs with. Okay, next we have Lightbringer. Lightbringer was using ladders and slabs quite effectively. He went out of the valley, out into the outside to look for seeds, got a few seeds, then came back and did some caving. Next we have OG Otosan. He is also a returning player. He used to play a lot, but then several months went by where he was too busy, but he's back now. He also went out looking for seeds. Got a few seeds, came back. His trees were grown. He cut those down and got some apples. And he built a blind in the entrance of one of the caves to hunt mobs. So the mobs, he made like using half slabs, he made a slit that he can hit them through, and he just waits for the mobs to come up to there and he hits them. And okay, next we have Scody Garbitas. Scotty is living off of zombie flesh and milk. He showed us that you can eat multiple zombie fleshes and then drink the milk right afterwards, and it cancels the hunger, which is a really cool trick. I wish I had a cow. I don't think I do. He also constructed a mob dropper. That is a thing that mobs spawn into and then get whooshed down the drain with water into a 22 block drop, which almost kills them, and then he walks over and they're one hit kills, and then he can collect the drops. He made bread in episode 2, and then he went caving. Next we have John Fowl 92. John Fowl also made bread. He did some tree farming. He made a tunnel from the valley to the river. He did some caving. He got lost in the cavern there for a few minutes, but then found his way back to the valley. Next we have Batheart MC. He found iron in the river. So I don't have any iron yet, so I think I'm going to run over to the river and get the iron that's in the river. He tunneled in from the river. He tunneled into the valley from the river, and then he put torches around. Next we have a new player, 22 Scoops. 22 Scoops did some caving. He got some iron, then he came back into the valley and made a really nice water feature. It's kind of like a well, but it's more like a water feature. It's only 1 block deep, and it's kind of spread out, and he also integrated his farm with it, but it looks really cool. Check him out. He spent some time leveling dirt and made a fancy farm. Next we have Conquering. Conquering cut down a giant spruce tree. Did some oak tree farming. Got an apple. She finished her episode with only 4 haunches left. So hopefully she will get some food soon. Next we have Technoscribe. Technoscribe did some land leveling. Got a giant spruce tree to grow and made bread. Next we have the team of Bong Bong and Goroncraft. They did some tree farming. Goroncraft was doing some caving. He was down there in the caverns. A skeleton started shooting at him. He was looking around to see if he could find out where the skeleton was, and he stepped over a ledge and fell to his death in a hole. He only had 3 hearts at that point, so it wasn't that long of a fall. It was like 15 blocks or something. Yes, but so Goroncraft died to a fall. In the meantime, Bong Bong was cutting down trees. He got some apples. Then he went caving. Went down to collect Goroncraft's stuff. And he got some iron. Then he got lost on the way back. And then he was killed by a skeleton. So, both out. Bong Bong and Goroncraft, the whole team, dead in episode 2. But Bong Bong came back and made a solo attempt, which is we'll get to further down the list. Next we have Andy Doan. Andy Doan made bread. He did some caving. He got some iron. He worked on the interior of his little house, and he made some armor. Not a full set, but better than nothing. Next we have Granny's Got Game. Granny's Got Game made a farm at the river. She made a Scotty hole. That is a very small hole to hide from mobs. And this was right next to the farm. Off of that she did some mining, and she's playing the game with extreme timidity, so she's not taking any chances. She does not want to be in Technoscribe's Game Over video. Next, we have Grandma's Gone Gaming, which should not be confused with Granny's Got Game, two completely different channels. Grandma's Gone Gaming made a room on the side of the valley, and then she made a farm in the room, because that's safer than going out into the valley. So she's playing it kind of safe too. Okay, next we have Tim Obert, also known as Captain Hook 5150. He expanded his farm and did some tree farming. Next we have Piker Eyes of the Gophercraft crew. Of course, he's not on the crew this time. He's a Piker Eyes solo. He did some caving. He did a lot of caving. He's down deep. He got emeralds. He got iron. He got a carrot from a zombie. He found gold. He was attacked by silverfish. He made bread. He, I thought he wasn't going to regen the whole episode, but apparently being down to 4 hearts is no cause for alarm if you're Piker Eyes. So even though he had food he could have regened with, he didn't. Came up and did some tree farming, got apples. He started work on a house, and then he took his bones and did some carrot farming. And toward the end of his episode, he was shot by a skeleton and got down to 2 hearts, and I guess that was enough to get his attention, and he ate some food and regened. Okay, next we have Nova Cookie 232. He did some caving. He was fighting lots of mobs in the cave. He came back up to the valley and made a safe room for himself that he can bolt into if things get too hairy out in the valley. Next we have Boone Slayer. Boone Slayer was tunneling down through a sidewall from the top. What the heck is that? Somebody's phone's going off. He put torches in the valley. He made a small farm, and rabbits are trampling his small farm. So I don't know if he's going to get too much food out of that if he can't keep the rabbits out of it. Next we have New Azusa. New Azusa was in doing his 1.9 snapshot version of the challenge, okay? And he was suffering some lag. He got some apples from cutting trees. He was tunneling toward the valley, but did not reach it. Then he went caving and was killed by a skeleton. But he has said that he will restart and do the challenge in 1.88 without the 1.9 snapshot. Just do it in the current version like the rest of us, and see if he does any better with that. Next we have Cherry Bitters. Cherry Bitters was caving. She found some iron. She made stairs from her mine back up to the valley. She harvested her wheat and made bread, and then she went back to caving. Next we have Load Central. Nobody died in this episode on the Load Central team. They were doing good, but they are all hungry. They have no food reserves, and they're still trying to build up a food reserve. They were cutting trees and getting apples, but they have so many players on their team. It's hard to keep up with all the mouths that need to be fed. They made a campfire, and they made a large farm. So most of us have little farms. They have a large farm. Next we have Bear Family 07. He entered the valley and put torches out. Bear Family 07 is a returning player. Then he did some fishing, didn't have too much luck there, and built a tiny house. very tiny house. But it has a back door. The tiny house has a front door into the valley and a back door into the side of the stone wall. And he built another room behind that. So it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, which reminds me of a TV show that I can't watch. Okay, next we have the solo world of Bong Bong. Okay, in his solo attempt, he made a very large farm. This is the biggest farm in the challenge so far. It's like one of those 81 plot farms, except it's a double. So whatever double 81 is, 162 plots. He's got a big farm, bigger than anyone needs, I think. Okay, he put torches down all over the place. The bunnies are trampling his farm, but he put a fence around part of it to try to slow them down. He was using, he dug a shaft from his valley down to the bottom, a shaft straight down, and put ladders in it so he can go down there and look for diamonds. And he's making a lot of bread. He's making bread. His wheat's growing faster than he can harvest it, and he's making bread faster than he can eat it. So he has no hunger problems in his solo world. And finally, we have another returning player, Kid Awesome 2. Kid Awesome 2 made a farm by the river, and he also made a tree farm by the river, and he has not reached the valley yet. So that's the player update for episode 2. In my own personal episode 2, I'm not having a good time. My farm is too small. I don't have any food reserves. My hunger is like half gone. My hearts are down to 1, I think. And there's various mobs around the edges of my area. I think there's a skeleton looking at me from the other side of the valley. And my wheat's not growing fast enough, so it doesn't look good for me. But we'll see how it turns out in episode 3. This is Mike Deering signing out.